Hello everyone, it's me, Aaron, Professor Thorgy, your guide to all things geeky, and welcome to Comic Class, the show where every single Wednesday we geek out about comic books on this channel, and today I have a random recommendation for you guys. I am here today to talk about Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and I wanted to do this episode today because last week I had was one of the biggest episodes we've ever done. It was my top 100 comics of 2015. And I spent weeks working on that list, of coming up with the list, coming up with all the books I wanted to have on there, going through, making sure that the order was right, making sure that I dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, that I didn't leave anything off. Then I finally recorded the episode, and as I sat down to edit it, about halfway through editing it, suddenly it dawned on me. Where's Unbeatable Squirrel Girl? Seriously, I edited that thing 7 times, and I still left a book off. And not like some small book, not like something I was going to put in the 90s, no. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl was one of the best books of 2015. I would have put that easily in the top 25 on that list, but because I'm an idiot, I forgot to put it on there. So instead, I'm going to dedicate this entire episode to telling you why that book is so freaking good. Also, because when I talk about only one comic book, it typically leads to a very short episode, and after our hour and 20-minute long top 100 list last week, I need a break. Now, Squirrel Girl for years had kind of been a joke character for Marvel. She was created by Steve Ditko, who was one of the big creators at Marvel, and she, like I said, she was mainly just meant to be a joke in there. She popped up just to take out Dr. Doom with an army of squirrels, and then she was never heard from again. In fact, the first time that I heard of her was back when I was a kid in the late 90s, not even late 90s, like mid 90s, in which Marvel had a line of trading cards in which it showed heroes around New York City. Like they would take real photos of New York and then just draw the heroes in there, and then the back would be like a newspaper description about where they were seen and what they were doing out there. And then just out of nowhere they decided to put Squirrel Girl in there in the park talking to squirrels, and that was the first time I was like, who the heck is this? Like, the internet wasn't around back then, so I just had to go, I guess she's a thing. I can't look her up, alright, whatever. But yeah, she had really only just been around then, and then Dan DiDio brought her back for Great Lake Avengers, which Great Lake Avengers were always the joke Avengers team. They were guys like Mr. Immortal, who was basically Kenny from South Park. He kept dying over and over again, just come back. Dinosaura, who was a dinosaur person. Doorman, a guy who when he stands against a wall, he acts as a door. Yeah, just jokey, goofy characters, and they brought her back, but they really played into this whole joke of, yeah, she once took out Dr. Doom, and they just made her this complete badass on the team. I mean, she was still goofy and upbeat and fun, but that's kind of what the joke was, is that she was all like, yeah, team, we can go and do it, and then she would just beat everyone's ass. That was the whole point of her character. But then, last year, Marvel decided that they were going to give her her own series, and it was going to be all about how, yeah, she took out Dr. Doom. She is a badass. She, being this young, upbeat, energetic, happy, fun person, can beat pretty much anyone in the Marvel Universe. And it's being written by Ryan North and being drawn by Erica Henderson, and I don't know what their creative process is like, but those guys work so well together on this book. I would almost say that they are with each other on every step of this book. Like, Erica probably helps him with the writing, and he probably helps her with the page layouts, because they are just so freaking in sync. I can't imagine two people working completely separately, working so well together on a book, because this series is all about Doreen, aka Squirrel Girl, going off to college, and it's, you know, it's fun college stuff. It's her getting there, meeting her roommate, meeting all of her teachers, and going to class. Why did I slur on class? Class. No one does that. So it's her going to class, and then also being a superhero, which, you know, it's pretty standard like college superhero stuff, but it's her going up against these huge, massive, A-list villains in the Marvel Universe, and she's taking them all out. But here's the thing, she's not just taking them all out by beating them up. She takes them out in either humorous ways, like attacking them with an army of squirrels, or she takes them out with the power of friendship and fun and enthusiasm, which speaks so much to her character. Like in issue 1, she goes up against Kraven the Hunter, who is trying to hunt down her pet squirrel Tippy Toe. That's an amazing name, I just have to point that out. But he's hunting down her pet squirrel Tippy Toe, and she comes in and is like, hey, listen, let's all just talk about this. Squirrel, why do you want to go up against a squirrel? Here's a list of these giant monsters in the Marvel Universe. go out there and find one to beat yourself. And so he's like, okay, yeah, you got a point. I never thought about it like that. I'm gonna go out there and fight a giant whale monster. And so that's how she beats him. And this is all meant to be like semi in continuity, like it's, you know, they don't say whether or not it's affecting the real Marvel Universe, but it was so much fun that I really hope that the next time Kraven the Hunter does pop up in like a more serious Marvel comic, it is him like fighting a giant whale monster. I really hope that they actually play and go, no, that actually happened, because it was so much fun. Or like at the end of her first story arc, she goes up against Galactus, the biggest, baddest villain in the Marvel Universe. And when she meets him, he's just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, he's just a cool bro. He's almost like the dude from The Big Lebowski, just giant in each planet. I won't say, like, where they go with that storyline, but I just thought, no one has ever treated Galactus like that. Where do you even come up with that? That's so imaginative, and it was so much fun. And I keep saying the word fun over and over again, but in all honesty, that is the best way to sum up this book. Not just the storyline, not just the art, not just the dialogue, not just the characters, but they just find ways to cram humor and fun into every single spot on this page. Like the recap page in every single issue, it's basically just a Tumblr or Twitter feed, except it's just random superheroes commenting on, and then Squirrel Girl commenting back to them, and it's hilarious the interactions that they do with her. And this one, I didn't even realize they did this until I got to the very end of the first issue, but it gave me a reason to go back and reread it all over again. On every single issue, at the very bottom of the page, they have basically her commentary track. It's basically as if Squirrel Girl herself was going back and watching this unfold and just giving you her commentary track like it was a DVD or like it was an MST3K thing. That's brilliant! Who the heck would have thought to do that in this book? That is so ingenious, and some of my biggest laughs from this series have come from them doing that. So in the end, this isn't one of the most entertaining books from Marvel. It's one of the most entertaining books from any company out there. And it's great for all these new audiences that are coming in and getting into books, because these new audiences are like, yeah, I enjoy superheroes, but you know, I don't want just the typical go out there, punch a villain stuff. They want different tones. They want different types of characters. They want to read about stuff that is just fun. And I'm glad that Marvel is providing books like that, especially considering that I have seen a wide audience of young female readers coming in. This is an amazing book to give them, but I'm also saying that as a 30-year-old dude, I love this book. This book speaks to so many people. This doesn't have an age or gender restriction on it. This is a book that's just great for anybody who wants to laugh, for anybody who enjoys upbeat, energetic, adventurous characters. I highly recommend Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Alright, that's it for this episode of Comic Class, so let me know in the comments down below if you checked out Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and if you did, how did you feel about it? And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure that you share it all around the web. You guys have been doing that a lot lately, and it's really been helping this channel. Thank you so much for that. So make sure that you come back every single Wednesday for another episode of Comic Class. I will go ahead and warn you guys though, throughout the month of February, Comic Class is going to be kind of short every single week, simply because A, this channel has a theme month going for it, and we cover more than just comic books here. The theme this month is Pokemon in honor of its 20th anniversary, so we're going to have a bunch of extra shows dedicated to that. So because of that, Comic Class is going to be a little bit short, but also because I am going to be out of town for the entire last week of February, so I have to record a lot of short episodes to try and preload this channel up, so I hope that you guys understand. But when March comes around again, everything will be back to normal. So I thank you guys for checking out this channel, and come back next time.